I just saw an article by the ECB, the European Central Bank, and they admitted in this article that they were having problems delivering gold, and they were worried about the bullion banks' ability to deliver gold as well as cover margin calls during this time. The irony is they're publishing this information in May, 4 months after they noticed the problem. So we can conclude a couple things here. Number one, the bullion banks were in danger from all the gold coming to the US. Number two, the short covering that you heard us talk about for the last 3 months was a direct result of the fear of someone going belly up. There were serious problems over there. We're just not sure specifically who. And number three, they lied about the metal. Remember, they were saying it's just heavy. We have plenty of metal. They didn't have enough metal. It wasn't available. And the bullion banks, at least one or two of them, didn't have the money available to cover margin calls. Did everyone just hear what I just said? Somebody just typed that they heard that if they did. Okay, I don't hear you guys, but I see what you type. So this is kind of like a live chat where I do, it's like radio, right? I'm telling you what's going on. You can tell me you can hear it. You can ask me questions. And if I enable a camera, then you'll be able to see my lovely face as well. Okay, so that noise is my dog. So let's lay it out here for you. The news item is the ECB says that they were concerned in a public paper about people making margin calls and delivering the gold. Okay? Everyone's going to be talking about that. Oh, someone might blow out. There might be a problem. And that all may be true. But the fact of the matter is, government never divulges a problem until after the problem is solved. And we, because we pay attention to these things, and I mean that you guys too, because you're all on here, understand that the last 4 months we've seen nothing but gold being bought by bullion banks while the funds sold it. So they mandated their bullion banks, or some bullion banks, to cover shorts. The end result is you now have a COMX with no open interest. Everybody's afraid to play, and the bullion banks were close to blowing out, at least one of them. I am talking COMX in particular. I just saw a question from Gianni. A nice picture, Gianni. Uh, the the COMX in particular, because I mean it manifested on the COMX. See, that's actually a good question. The U.S. was pulling metal from Europe, right? We were calling all that gold over here, and so it wasn't margin calls on the COMX that were the problem, although it could have been. The problem is that, even though London is a physical market, they have a futures exchange too that nobody really talks about. And what it is it's called an interdealer market. So you're a cash market, you're spot. I buy, you buy. That's what over the counter is. But the main dealers in the London Bullion Exchange, LBMA, those guys have credit with each other. And so they borrow and lend gold to each other using private futures on their exchange. So, number one, the metal wasn't readily available. Number two, these guys were borrowing from each other to cover margin calls and got caught with their pants down. You follow? So the margin calls probably mattered over here, but they started over in London. No physical, right? Nobody was giving each other very much credit. And then it rolls over to the US, and you see the EFP, or the COMEX price, shoot up relative to London because nobody has the metal in the US and they can't pull it from Europe anymore. You follow? So if we're hearing about it now, does this mean the problem is gone? Okay. Historically speaking, yes. Okay. But the truth of the matter is, you never know it's gone. So what I mean is, just to repeat what I said before, some people may have come in late. They're describing a very real concern they had. and they're describing it in the present tense like they're still concerned about it. But the margin calls were a threat months ago when all the metal was being pulled here. Remember, this is the European bank saying something, not the US bank, right? So the European bank is describing a problem in the present tense, which still may exist, but originated after the election. They say it in the article. I'll put the link in here. They say it in the article. They say, after the election, yada, 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 tariffs, yada, 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 physical bullion in the US, et cetera, and boom, margin calls. And so, frankly speaking, governments don't tell you about a problem unless it's already been largely solved. And the reason they tell you about the problem is not because they care, it's because it's how they cover their asses. They solve the problem and then put a paper out saying, you know, we ran into this problem before and we've solved the problem, and aren't we smart? And that's it. You follow? All right, I'm going to go. I just wanted you guys. Let me scroll up and look for some more questions here. This is not bad for news items. This is going to be good. I mean, I don't want to spam you all the time. I already send you 500 emails a day. Look at that. So it's really hard to see the words on this screen while I'm doing this. They kind of disappear too quickly. So I'm not really able to see. Like, I see words, and then if I scroll them, they don't come back. Scott, I see Scott. I see David. So I wonder if this is recorded. Hopefully it's recorded, right? Is the problem solved now? Eli, no, the problem's not. Okay. You're going to start reading in the next few days that the problem could happen. It could be a disaster. And, you know, it was a fucking disaster, excuse my French. But they don't talk about disasters until after the disaster has been handled. So can this happen again? Yes. Is it still happening? Yeah. Somebody is probably going to get stressed out about it. You'll frequently hear when there's a problem like this, and believe me, I've been through these things, right? When there's a big exchange wide or industry wide problem, you frequently hear about it afterwards, and usually it coincides with one small guy being thrown to the wolves. And we haven't seen anyone thrown to the wolves yet, but that's what I'm looking for. So the problem's not the problem, put it this way, they know the problem's there now. You're never going to see another SVB bank blow up because they see that coming. You're going to see another problem. Uh, yeah. Now there are two main names I want to mention for drawing this to my attention. I was just doing my thing, goofing around, you know. And Chris Marcus sent me uh, a text, and he's like, "Look at this." And there's a guy named Mark Ourn. I know him from indirectly from his London business, and he pulls up the ECB thing, and it's a Twitter post or X, whatever we're calling it now, and he describes the situation. He shows the link and he highlights the paragraph that I'm going to include in here. And once he does that, you know, everyone's like, "Oh, it could happen. It could be the end of the world." You know what? It really could have been the end of the world, and it still might be the end of the world. But if we're talking about it, that's because they can't keep it under wraps anymore, and it's really bad, or the problem is solved. And I think it's probably the problem is solved. I mean, look, I part of me doesn't want it to be solved. You know what I mean? But I have a feeling. Uh, let's see. I'm scrolling through here again. Oh yes, so it looks like somebody has the paragraph. Uh, looks like there's a quote from economic philologist. Long short. Yeah, so I'm not really talking about COMX. All right, let me see if I can throw a picture on here. I have a. I don't think I can. I think it's a live chat. Let's see. I'm sending a text. Let's see if it goes through. Okay. All right. So look, I'm going to go, but we know that this works. I can use it, and I'll only use it when there's something uh, really important, like you know, gold's up $5. I'll let you all know. All right. Thank you for joining. I'll do this again. Again, Chris Marcus kept me in the loop on this, and I'm just giving you the analysis. Look, all the analysis you're going to hear out there is going to be this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. Yes, it could happen. You do not go out and buy gold because of this. Okay. You just know that governments don't tell you about the problem until after the crisis part of the problem is over. All right. Have a great day, guys. Catch you later.